Hello guys and gals, welcome to the latest episode of Squad Morale Restored. My name is Daniel and today we're going to be looking at this Forge World kit. It's quite an old one and it is for the Astra Militarum Imperial Guard, let's basically say that. First of all, thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined the channel, even though I haven't made a video in absolute ages. Reasons are down to losing relatives to COVID, which has basically meant last year and the beginning of this year was rather a pain. Anyhow, things are getting under control, so I've decided let's get back on with doing some reviews. I've had this sitting around in my cupboard for quite a while now, so let's take a look. So this is for the Praetor Armoured Assault Launcher, and the usual anxieties abound when it comes to Forge World resin, or the casting thereof. So let us take a look at this and see how good the parts are, how good the casts are. Right, wow. Okay, so this is thank you to Bio. Okay, 5th of December 2019, so that gives you some idea of how long I've had this. I think I actually put a post on my Facebook account to say that this is going to be the next video, and that gives you an idea of how long it's been. One of the reasons why I wanted to pick up a Praetor was was mainly because of its missile launcher and the fact that it looks awesome. We've got, let's have a look, we have one bag of parts, two bag of parts, and oh hang on, we've got something in bubble wrap too, so let's put that over there. Where to start? Okay, let us start with the bubble wrapped parts. Okay, right. Oh, wow, okay, so we have a fine chunk of resin there. Okay, so these are fairly obviously the track sides of the Praetor. Right, going in to have a look at the tops of the tracks. Well, so far so good. They look pretty decent. Oh, hang on, what's this? That's just a bit of, it needs just a little tidy up. That's an out of out. That's easy enough to sort out. Now do this other straight. That looks fairly, hang on. That looks fairly straight to me. Yeah, looks good. So track number one, not too bad at all. Little word on modelling for this. I'm glad that they've stopped doing these huge gates right on the actual track. So it looks like we're going to trim this off. And hopefully there'll be like a bit of tread we can put in on top of that somewhere. Feels quite dry as well, not bad. Right, let's have a look at track number two. Right, first of all, let's just double check. There's one for each side. Yeah, good. Again, let's have a look on the top of these. Yep, seems okay. Again, at this other end, we've got a little bit of fiddly bit to sort out, but that's straightforward. That'll be straightforward. Right. I do like the detail. It's fairly straightforward. This is very much reminiscent of the Chimeras and Lehman Russes. I do like how they kind of keep the same design cues. That's nice and straight. Okay, so 2 for 2. Feeling quite lucky so far. Let's open up this bag of tricks next. Blimey, that's a lot of parts. Right, let's have a look at this. Oh wow, okay. This is the pièce de résistance of the Praetor. We have a choice of, wow. We have a choice of missile batteries. Yeah, they'd put a crimp in your day. Let's check these ones out first. I was under the assumption that these would come as like individual parts, or maybe like a set of 5 and you just plonk them in. So it's quite interesting to see that they've gone for like an entire single piece. I imagine that also makes it harder to cast them, perhaps. Yeah. Crikey. Oh, that looks good. Just yeah, so far so good. That looks just like just needs a little bit of a wash. Let's have a look at the big boys. These things are huge. Wow. Yep, I would not like to be on the receiving end of these. Hello. We have a bit of mold. Yeah, like greeny stuff in there. Don't think it's causing any problems. Just pluck it out with a pair of tweezers. I don't think there's anything to worry about there. Just get me thinking that if I'm going to use one or the other, am I going to magnetize it, or maybe use it as use the spare one as some kind of a train piece somehow? Okay, let's have a look. What else have we got? Okay, we've got a little couple of hatches. These are fairly straightforward little bits for the model. And because they're fairly straightforward, that usually means that there's a whopping great mistake or casting problem with them. But no. So far so good. BO is doing this proud. We have a little missile rack. Let's check this out. Again, that looks straight. It's all these kind of ribbed parts at the edges which always sort of worry me. But, wow. Yep, that looks craggy. That is awesome. It looks nice and straight. I wonder if I'm actually going to get to the build and the parts just don't fit together. This is going too well. Okay. Now, he spoke too soon. He has something which obviously used to have a part or a couple of parts on here, so hopefully they're just knocking about in the bag. Oh, that's fantastic. That is. I mean, the detail down there. For an older kit, it's not short on intricate kind of detail. I do like that. Okay. Another pair of missiles. Whoa, this is gone a bit wibbly. Just like my focusing. Come on. There we go. Alright, so we've got a little bit of an issue here where it's sort of bulged out. But again, that's not much of a problem. Can either probably just sand that down, maybe. Oh dear. And the pieces just fell off. Ta-da. Now, has that caused any kind of problems? No, not a bit of it. Yeah, it looks really smart. Oh, there it goes again. Okay, if there is, yes there is, no there isn't. Let's see what else we have over here now. Let's do this. Okay, so this looks like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is an internal part. Oops. Now it just says Games Workshop. It just says Games Workshop Limited. I was looking for a date. Okay. Aha. Right, this is the sort of stuff I like. Regular viewers of my limited selection of videos will know how much I like these like recessed parts and the depth of everything. So this door certainly fits the bill. Yeah, that looks spot on. Skull. Can't do Warhammer without a skull. And 40k or 30k, we have a skull with a little servo eye. Actually, might be a little silver skull that pops off and floats about. A bit like a grim dark version of Terrorhawk's Zeroids. Let's give him an H away. Okay, nice bit of cabling. It's like ribbed cabling, so it's difficult to tell. Maybe I get a bit more light on it. But yeah, that's a nice little touch. The detail on this ribbing is very fine, so that's going to be an interesting thing for me to paint. What else do we have? We have a couple of fuel tanks, or spare oil tanks. Comes with little, what I would imagine is like leather straps. Turn this the right way around. Okay, so we have a cylinder. How's the cast came out okay for the cylinder? We've got a nice circular end on that side. And, oh yeah, that's intentional. Yep. Does the strapping right up? Yes. Yeah, so just where the gates are, got a little tiny air bubble, but either A, that'll fill with super glue, there's another one here, or B, you won't even see them. So, easy fix. Woo. Easy fix, nothing to complain about. What else have we got? We've got, right, okay, so this looks like it's going to be part of this. No, this looks like it's going to be the part of this. We're going to have some kind of a turret weapon in there, and this is going to fit in like that, perhaps. We're going to have a little turret, which is going to go from side to side. Hopefully it still will go from side to side after I've put it together. But that must have been, presumably, that part was for. Right. Okay, and without further ado, let's have a look at this piece. Right, another part has fallen off the sprue, frame, gate, key, you know, whatever. Key? It's going to bug me now. I think it's a key. Okay, so that came off that, but doesn't look like there's any damage. And the tracks themselves look fantastic. And all there. There's no little bits missing off the edges. So that's very good indeed. Let's have a look at the rest of it. I'm going to call this a cupola, and it's not. It's a sponson. So fairly straightforward. This is going to be one of the heavy bolter sponsons at the front of the tank, armed personnel carrier. Yeah, for fluff reasons, or for fluff people, the Praetor assault launcher is built on the Crassus people carrier and loses its people carrying ability in order to lug missiles around instead. Yep, all these parts are fine. I like how this sponson cylinder is nicely cast. So basically, this heavy bolt is going to have a little nub. You can kind of tell. And that's just going to sort of plonk in yon hole there. And this is going to... What is it? I'm trying to think if this is going to just plonk in that, and this might be for something else. We shall see. Right, what else have we got? Let's have a look. We've got some bigger base pieces. Alright, let's have a look at this. Right, so this is an out of focus. There we go. This is an in focus interior of the vehicle. I think at the moment the Praetor retails for about 131 odd price, £131. I haven't heard if there's any price hikes for them this year, but if you're in the market for one, I would definitely pick it up as early as possible, because GW tends to drop prices on you quite quick. You thought I was going to say drop prices. It tends to bring prices up without much warning, and 130 quid for something is slightly more than small change to have to hand. Yep, that looks really good. The kit, it seems pretty straight and true as well, so might need a little bit of tweaking into shape, but nothing too much. Focus, right, okay. So we'll put that one there. Let's see if we can find the... Aha, here's the other part. Having said that it loses its troop carrying ability because it's got the missile launcher, I'm wondering, because it's still got these, hasn't it? Like the boarding ramp. Although, of course, this is just going to be... I'm assuming this will just get covered up. So, although it has got the space for the ramp to come down here, that's probably just because it's the same cast. It's the same part, isn't it, for the Crassus vehicle. Yeah. Again, very nicely cast part. So we can try and get our focus sorted. Yep. Nice. A good solid chunk as well. It's like, yeah, chunky. Okay. And I think where this gate is cut off, key, oh good grief. I think where this key is cut off, that's going to be either hidden, or even if it's not, it's a kind of a flat surface, so that would be easy to sand down or file down. Okay. We now have the two parts that kind of cover the tracks. And again, we're looking for rivets or bits missing. And while I'm looking for bits missing, there's two of me little dogs that decided to upstage me again. And they're play fighting under the table. There they go. So we've got a little bit... Never worked with dogs and animals. Hello. Oh, 1 second. Okay, well, I've calmed them down. I said I've calmed you two down. There we go. Oh, dear. So we have a little bit here that needs probably a bit of filling, but it's going to be on the inside, so nobody's going to really know except me, and yeah, so I'll need to get that sorted. But other than that, Oi. Oh dear. But other than that, yep, that's a very nice part, and the corresponding part, let's just double check to make sure it's at the same part twice. Good. Right, we have calm again. For how long it lasts, I don't know. So this PC, yeah, there we go. It doesn't last long at all. This looks fairly straight, but the inside part looks kind of warped. Not sure how that's going to affect it, but it's definitely going to be a kit, I think, for dry fitting. And again, see here we've got, these are definitely not, oh, there we go, definitely a bit wibbly wobbly, technical term. So we will have to do some, I imagine, some more dry fitting. Yeah, I think that's gonna, this part's gonna be a little bit out of true, especially compared to the other ones. Put them side by side. Oh, little keys are in the way. But if we hold them like that, you can kind of tell that the bottom one is sparking. Right. Okay, so back to this chunky piece of resin here. And this is the front of the vehicle. So very solid looking, quite substantial in terms of design and in terms of the sheer weight of resin. These little alcoves is going to be where the heavy bolter sponsons will sit. Ta-da! So that's going to kind of, can't really do it with the gator. So they're going to fit in there. Heavy bolter on top, so this can sort of pivot. Hang on, come on, focus. There we go. So it can sort of pivot to and fro. And then the top part is going to come on top of this and kind of sandwich the sponsons. So you don't glue them, so they'll wiggle about still. But yeah, very nice, very substantial component. In terms of the cast, we've got a little bit of mould seam there, but that's easily resolved. Do we have... Oh no, that's a little baby shim. Hang on. Yeah, that's a little shim. I thought that was a bit of overspill, but if you turn it around, you can kind of tell I've got two little itty bitty shims. Quite cute, really. Yep, and again, I've got this kind of overcast part here. But yeah, that'll sand down, so that's no problem at all. What else have we got? Oh, of course, we've got the chassis base. And definitely thumbs up for doing some design on the base rather than just being flat and featureless. I'm not sure what this plate's for. I wonder if that's supposed to be like an emergency hatch of some description. Although it's riveted all the way around. I wonder if it's supposed to be... No, it's too neat for repair damage. Interesting. Could be extra support for... I wonder if the piston that lifts the rocket launcher is going to be above that. Although it's... So it's supposed to be like some kind of reinforcement for the chassis, maybe. This compound is very straight. Yeah, that's very good. And yeah, it looks really nicely cast, that. All our little rivets are present. Ooh, hang on. We are missing a little rivet there. Yes, we are missing a tiny rivet there. Not that anyone will ever see it, but need to point it out just in case. Okay. I wonder how much of this is actually going to be... This must be actually where the rocket launcher pivots on. This will be... so that'll be like... So this, presumably, will go on here somewhere. In some form or another. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Oh dear me. Right, okay. What else have we got? We've got the piston arrangement I've just been talking about. There we go, in focus. So we've got a twin piston. We have a twin piston, he said. There we go. With a twin piston arrangement and a rather nicely fashioned chamber for them to reside in. Which we've got the internal tracks there for the ends of the piston. casting wise, they've came out rather well. Just a little bit of clean up there. That looks worse on camera than it is. You can barely feel it. And I'm wondering if, since these are, so you can pause this in like a closed or up position. I'm not sure if you can actually have one or the other without cutting these pistons off there. But I think it's beyond, I would like to think it isn't, but it probably is beyond my modelling ability to cut these off and hollow out these barrels, so this could go in and out. I imagine there's quite a few more talented people out there. Again, Leaky Cheese springs to mind as the sort of thing he could do. Might be something I'd give it a go at. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Yeah. It's a possibility. Something to think about. Okay. We have two. No, we haven't. We've got another part here. So we've got a pair of doors. And I think this is for... Yeah, this would be for the crew kind of canopy at the front. So you can either have these, because they're separate, they're not just one piece. That gives the option whether or not to have them open with somebody standing, like standing out, or to have them closed. Always good for the option. And they do look nicely cast. I always have a trouble. I've never yet had a pair of like Land Raider doors or Rhino doors that fit the plastic kits without a fair bit of trim work, like trimming work. I'm not sure if I'm just unlucky in that respect. Okay, so here we have a bit of a Auspex, I believe, for targeting purposes. The back of this looks a bit odd compared to the others. It's like, yeah, I was thinking these were rivets at first, but they're actually lots and lots of little air holes. How bizarre. I wonder if they were supposed to be rivets and they didn't form. Let's see if I can get a better angle. There we go, if we look down there. You can quite clearly tell there are lots of very neat rivet holes. Or, yeah, they line up pretty much as well where the rivets on the side are. That is very bizarre. If anyone else out there's got this kit, please let me know if you have the similar thing, because that looks too neat to be a mistake. I may be wrong. And then the edge we've got a shim there, so that looks kind of messy, but really it's because that's a shim which will be cut out. Aside from that, the rest of this is very crisply cast. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I do like that. Again, solid. Solid bit of resin. And our final part is this ginormous hulking grip piece of resin, which will be the housing for the missiles. Okay, so it's already fairly weighty. Yeah, that's thick. It's not hollow at all. It's like one solid lump of resin. Crikey. Really adds to the weight. Oh, I like this kind of riveted support struts at the back. And that brings us to the exhaust grills for the rockets, where I always like a bit of weathering, but I also like my tanks to be clean and like freshly painted. But I like to have like mud and sand and stuff around the treads. And I do like the idea of having sort of like carbon scoring on these. I'm always in two minds how to do that.
whether to actually do it or just leave it clean, ready for kind of battle. Okay, also got these two little anchoring points, which that needs just drilling out a little bit. Just a bit of very thin sliver of resin in there. This one here looks a bit odd, how it's sort of looks like it's, this one here looks kind of like it's attached on. Not sure how that, I suspect that's some kind of a casting flaw, but that's easily remedied. So when these are together, it will, from the side, it'll look something like that. So the original kind of Crassus transport vehicle has, hang on, come on, blurriness. There we go. So the original Crassus vehicle has a canopy that looks kind of like that, so it trundles along. Whereas this one has the piston system, which should allow it to kind of pivot up like that, or maybe more like that. But yeah, that is really heavy, and with the missiles on as well, it's going to make it even more so. So the idea of kind of drilling these out, and to support all that weight, I'll probably have to probably have to drill these out as well and put some kind of a metal pin in them, and through this as well, which I don't know if that would take the weight or just snap. Back to our first world problems. Okay, so that is all I can see at the moment. I'm having a look at the instructions. As we've said before, what on earth are these funny little arrows supposed to be? Oh right, they're supposed to be pointing to okay. Yes, at least the pictures, even though they're like photocopy type pictures, at least they're sharp and not 100th generation black blurs on the page. Yeah. Always have a look at dry fit and stuff yourself. Don't sort of blindly follow the instructions on these older kits, because a lot of the time they'll either lead you astray or you'll end up with parts left over at the end which you think, oh, that should have gone in at stage 1, or this should have been at stage 2. And actually there isn't really any stages on these. It's just, here's a set of parts, here's a few pictures, there's a completed vehicle. But here, there we go, there's where we stick the doors, but I'm going to have them open with a little dude standing outside. Well, not standing outside, that's a bit too precarious, just his upper half poking out. And warhead variants. Yeah. Again, I've had a look on the book, and there seems to be 2 or 3 different methods of firing the missiles, and it leads you to think that it can actually fire both types, so I don't know how that's supposed to work. Yeah, but yeah, all in all, it's about a 10-year-old kit, I think, this year, and I think it's doing pretty well for its age, especially how the parts seem to be still nicely cast, and how they seem to fit together properly as well. Yes, anyway, so I'm going to wrap it up there for today, guys. If there's anything you'd like to ask in the comments, please do so. I'll always take the chance to read through what you guys put. Again, another big shout out of thanks to subscribers who've been out in the wilderness of me not doing any content for so long. I hope you don't mind too much for the kind of obvious reasons why I haven't been in a state to do them. But things are looking up, and I'm hoping to keep producing videos a bit more often again. Our next project is a Warlord Titan, but that might take some time to collect all the parts together, but hopefully it'll not be too long. Hopefully this year anyway. Okay, so as I say, anything you want to ask in the comments, please leave us a note. Big thank you to all the subscribers, new and old, and everyone. I want you to take care of yourselves, okay? And hopefully we will see you again next time. Bye for now.